Have you seen this secret workbench hidden under a desk? A pegboard literally floats out from a secret compartment, creating multiple different workspaces. He took inspiration from this other guy on Bilibili, and while I love what they have come up with, I have different needs for my space. My studio is currently overrun with new machines. In the past month, I've added a CNC machine, a laser engraver, an air compressor, oven and powder coating gun, vacuum, and a variety of other miscellaneous additional tools. Now don't get me wrong, I need each one of these tools for a different purpose, and I'm really excited to build them each into my daily workflow. But working in a 13-foot by 9-foot space means I have to organize and optimize to get the most out of this space. I also need to find an elegant solution to clean up the constant mess that builds underneath my current desk. So today we are going to start by fixing this mess, starting with this really shaky, frustrating desk. It's meant to have a crank on the side, but due to how I have it set up, you can't use the crank, so you can't make it go up and down. It drives me nuts on a daily basis. So first things first, we're going to get this and all of this stuff out of here so that we can install our new FlexiSpot desk, thanks to the sponsor of today's video, FlexiSpot. When I envisioned this build, they're the only ones I thought of. Since my workbench already has a skeleton with a top-down filming rig and tools and a whole bunch of stuff built around it, I don't need that functionality. What I need is to hide clutter and a new space for some of my machines. So I started from scratch in Fusion and I blocked out all the things that I want to put in this space. This let me really envision whether the movement and my idea would work. So now that I have an initial draft done, it's time to get to work. I started getting going by removing everything from my frame area and got rid of the old desk so I could move in the new one. I decided to go with the E7 Plus because I'll be using a lot of tools and especially 3D printers on top of this desktop, and I need it to be super stable, so having the 4 legs and the 2 motors is essential. Compared to traditional 2-leg desks, the 4-leg construction is supported by 4 frames, providing enhanced stability during lifting and lowering, especially at higher heights. Typical 2-leg standing desks have a weight capacity of around 200 to 250 pounds, and the design constraints of a 2-leg structure generally limit their load-bearing capacity. Left side complete, time to do the right. But the FlexiSpot 4-leg standing desk can support at least 540 pounds, which should be plenty for me. Second side done, now we can unbox the tabletop. I ended up going with the 60 by 30 light bamboo desktop. It's a really nice touch to keep these safe during transport. Overall, that was a pretty quick, seamless setup. That is legit. That thing almost comes up to my shoulders. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. Whew. Eventually, with my new base, it's gonna come up to like there. That is super cool. Speaking of the base, it's time to get working on that. I'm by no means a good woodworker, so we'll show this part quickly, but I basically just cut out some pieces for a base to go under the desk legs and a shelf for storage of the new machines underneath. Then I screwed them all together, which is complete overkill, I know, but 2x4s are cheap and it seemed like a good idea at the time. It feels like half of this project has just turned into moving things around, but it does give me a good opportunity to clean up and organize, so that's a bonus. Definitely rethinking my decision to do any of this now. I think it's still gonna be worth it in the end though. Whee! Let's be real here. It wouldn't be a FlexiSpot video without raising yourself up and down while sitting on the desk, now would it? I've had my workbench set up like this for over a year now, so I've had plenty of time to figure out what I would change on the next version. I'm already worried about how I'm gonna get the desk on top of it, because it's very heavy. Now, before we move on to the final piece of installation that I'm most excited about, I need to show off how stable this setup is. The 4 legs make this desk really stable, and my extra base actually works out quite well. It's all sitting on carpet, so there is a tiny bit of shake due to the carpet compression, but it's not bad at all. I can definitely see a 3D printer working very well up here in the future. The other most impressive part of the E7 Plus is the 3-stage legs, which go to a max height of 51.5 inches, plus the 26 from my base brings this up to 77 inches high at its max. That is so cool! I'm not gonna be able to stand under here for long though, because we're putting in the shelf. It's got a 15-year warranty, and compared to other competitors is budget friendly, especially for what you are getting in this package. Perfect. I'll be using the offcut from the shelf to create a front display of sorts for the workbench area. This is the first thing that you see when you come into my space, and I want to elevate it to a new level and make it look awesome. I'm gonna start by cutting my offcut into 2 pieces so that one can lift and bend back, revealing the machines below. I 3D printed some quick, perfectly square L brackets out of wood PLA by Philip Holley and lined everything up to drill the holes before attaching some old door hinges I had laying around. And then I did my best to attach everything as squarely as possible. Okay, so the idea is that as the table goes up, this will lift, revealing everything below. So there's a few ways you could do this. I decided just for now, I'm gonna start with some simple hooks and rope, kind of more to prove the concept. 3 screw holes, a little bit of rope, done. Let's see how it works. So it went down a lot slower than I anticipated, but I think I know what the solution is to this, and it's just moving the rope attachment point instead of from here to like here, which will make the tension harder for it to lift, but it shouldn't be a problem because this FlexiSpot desk is really strong. Iteration is an important part of the process. That's so much better. Ooh! Now we're talking. And let's see if it's strong enough to lift it up. So I wanted it to be able to clear the machines. Oh yeah, here we go. That's so good. I just need it to go a touch higher. This is where string might not be the best solution. That's a good proof of concept right there. So now it's off to the hardware store to explore my other options. I need something that doesn't have any stretch to it and won't get longer over time, so I picked up some hardcore aircraft quality cable. This will replace our string, and I attached it to the previous hooks and upgraded the pulleys a bit to handle the new material. So far, it's working perfectly. I'm gonna make a little tiny like guide rail basically that will just move it right to the front, just like that. Woo! I love it. I love it already. Riding that enthusiasm into one of the more challenging parts of this build, for me, has us experimenting with something called a reed switch. Basically, it's a small sensor that completes the electrical circuit when a magnet is nearby. However, I very quickly learned that the tiny cheap ones I got were not rated to pass through the amperage of the LED strip. So it got very hot instantly, and it wouldn't turn off due to something called an arc reaction, and then it broke. So on to the next strategy. It took me way too long to remember how to use a relay, but I wired it up with a magnetic reed switch, which I've never used before, but this is super cool. Ooh. Ah. Look at that. Magnetically powered. Back to the 3D printer quick to make a case that I can mount underneath the desk. And apparently these are very fragile, so back to the soldering iron again. With a little more caution this time, and voila! I know it's got a DIY finish to it, but it will serve its purpose. I just love me some magnets. I mean, how cool is this? Clearly I've never made one of these before. This is fun. Which brings us to our final step in this project. Time to deal with the aesthetic and hide some of the inevitable clutter. I decided to add in 2 side covers for now that just clean up the look a bit more, and then using some old photo backdrop paper I got on the set of a rock movie, I made some privacy covers. It's important that I'm still able to stand close to the desk and place my feet underneath, so this seemed like the right move. But we'll see how well this holds up. After a bit of varnish, it's finally time to move my stuff back into this workbench. It feels so good to get everything up off of the ground and unlock my studio again. So without further ado, this is my secret workbench hidden under my standing desk. Underneath it stores my vacuum, cyclone, tool storage, and hides all of the mess. In the middle, we've got our laser engraving station and soon to be powder coating station. And up top is my main workbench area. A few of my favorite details are the way the lights turn on, the way it pops into its home spot, how smooth the motion of the desk is, and of course, the fact that I can leave a mess on top of the desktop and still place it all the way up at its top final destination. Overall, I think this project has been a huge success. One of the things I do need to figure out what to do with yet is what to do with this back wall. Currently, it's just blank, but it's kind of the last big decision left. Let me know what you guys think I should do with my big empty wall. Just to recap real quick, the E7 Plus is a budget-friendly option compared to the other competitors out there. The 3 stages, 4 legs, 2 motors makes a really stable, really strong platform, and it's pretty shake-proof. It's safe, that's the collision detection working, and it can handle a lot of weight, including me right on the edge of this thing, and it's not tipping over. No problem. Ah! Okay, I gotta jump. So yeah, FlexiSpot is having mega sales right now, so don't miss out on your opportunity to get yourself an E7 Plus. If you make something cool, let me know in the comments. I'd love to see what your guys' desk builds look like. If you have a limited budget, you can choose their E7 Premium desk, and you can use my code YTE7P50, which will be in the description below, for $50 off. As a socially responsible company, FlexiSpot also offers special discounts to military, students, doctors, and more. Click the link below now.